Last year, Trump looked at Canada and saw a soft target, a minority government, a new prime minister, a country that sends 75% of its exports south of the border. He put on the pressure and waited for Canada to fold. Here's what he didn't count on. Today, Mark Carney walked into a room of 4,500 Liberals in Montreal as a leader who was one seat away from a majority government. And the by-elections that could clinch it? They're on Monday. This is not a party in crisis. This is a party that looks like it's about to consolidate power, right before the most important trade deadline in Canadian history. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why a convention in Montreal today is one of the most significant moments in this entire trade war. Let's start with what's real. The Liberal National Convention runs April 9 to 11 in Montreal. First full Liberal gathering since 2023. 4,500 delegates, more youth delegates than any Liberal convention in history. More than half the people in that room had never been to a Liberal convention before, and Carney addressed them today. Now here's what makes this different from any other political gathering. In the last 5 months, 5 opposition MPs have crossed the floor and joined the Liberals. 5. The most recent was Marilyn Gladu, a Conservative MP from southwestern Ontario, who walked over just this week. That brings the Liberals to 171 seats. They need 172 for a slim majority. Monday, there are 3 by-elections. 2 of them, University Rosedale and Scarborough Southwest in Toronto, are considered Liberal strongholds. Political analysts expect those seats to push Carney over the threshold. And here's why that number matters beyond just politics. A leader one seat away from a majority does not negotiate the same way as a leader who needs the NDP's permission to survive every confidence vote. That difference is enormous for what comes next. Here's the assumption Washington made 14 months ago when the tariffs started. Economic pressure on Canada would weaken Carney politically. Job losses, uncertainty, a rattled economy, these things would turn Canadians against their own prime minister and push him to the table on American terms. The opposite happened. Carney's personal approval sits 29 points above Pierre Poilievre's. That gap has widened during the trade war, not shrunk. Polling firm Abacus data found that Canadians overwhelmingly believe the cause of their economic pain is not their own government. It's the White House. Think about what that means strategically. Trump tried to use economic pain to break Canadian political will. Instead, that pain rallied Canadians around their prime minister, and that rally is now turning into parliamentary seats. The leader who walks into the CUSMA in July is not the same minority prime minister who started this fight. Not even close. Actually, real quick, I want to check something. If you found your way to this video, but you're not subscribed yet, that means YouTube probably won't show you the next one. And the next one matters. The by-elections are Monday, the CUSMA deadline is July 1st, and this story is going to move fast between now and then. Hit subscribe, I'll be here for every turn. Okay, back to it. The Canada-US-Mexico Trade Agreement review deadline is July 1st, 2026. That is 81 days from today. All 3 countries must decide, move forward, renegotiate, or walk away. Washington's entire negotiating strategy has been built on Canada being desperate. A shaky minority government, an anxious economy, a prime minister who needs to show results fast. Look at what's actually happened instead. Canada hit back with over $60 billion in counter tariffs on U.S. goods. Trans Mountain Pipeline reached full capacity earlier than analysts expected, and Asian buyers are lining up for Canadian crude. Canada signed trade and security deals on 4 continents. And in March, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a significant chunk of Trump's tariff authority as unconstitutional. And now, Carney is approaching a majority. The person who sits across from American negotiators in July is a prime minister with a strong mandate, rising approval, and a country that has spent 14 months proving it can route around American pressure. That is a completely different negotiation than the one Trump planned for. Now, I'm not going to pretend this is all good news, because it isn't. A majority government cannot lower a tariff by itself. Canadian steel and aluminum manufacturers are still getting hit with 50% duties that took effect this month. That pain is real, and it's not going away because of a by-election result. The CUSMA talks are going to be hard regardless. The U.S. still has real demands on dairy, on digital services, on supply chains. Parliamentary seats don't negotiate those away. And this majority is fragile. 1 seat. One surprise upset on Monday, one unexpected defection, and the math shifts again. But here's the thing about negotiations. Leverage isn't just about what you actually have. It's about what the other side believes you have. The signal coming out of Montreal today is that Carney is consolidated, confident, and not going anywhere. That signal lands in Washington whether or not every detail on the ground backs it up. Here's the bottom line. 14 months ago, Trump started a trade war expecting Canada to crack. The Prime Minister was new. The government was a minority. The economy was rattled. Today, Carney spoke to 4,500 people in Montreal as a leader one seat away from majority power. With approval ratings his rivals haven't seen in decades, and a CUSMA deadline 81 days out, Trump started this to bring Canada to the table on his terms. The question now is, whose terms are actually going to be on that table in July? All sources are linked in the description. Everything in this video is verified. No spin. And before you go, I want to know what you actually think. Do you believe Carney walks into July 1st with a majority and a strong hand? Or does something break before then? Drop your answer below. I read every single comment.